I just catch you eating an apple? Is that what's happening over here? Are you trying to eat an apple? Wilson! I've never seen you do that before.
Hello, I have a DIY project spread out in front of me, which I will show you guys in just a moment. I am snacking on some sourdough toast with cream cheese. I've already had breakfast, but I'm still hungry, so I'm eating that. And I am finally reorganizing our seasonings drawer. We just had a drawer that was just full of different seasonings like this, just spilling out all over the place. It was just a disaster and pretty gross, to be quite honest. And it's just kind of the solution that we had as soon as we moved in, because we really didn't know what else. Obviously, we're still like putting this place together. So I have always wanted to do this. I didn't do this in LA and I always wanted to. So now that we're here and I'm just like in nesting mode because we just have a home now, which is so exciting. I bought these glass seasoning jars. You can probably find these anywhere online. They're just like glass seasoning jars with bamboo lids. I actually picked these up at the warehouse here in New Zealand. I don't think there's a warehouse in the US. Actually, I didn't know there isn't. But I bought a bunch of them because we have a lot of different seasonings. We cook a lot, so we were pulling from our seasonings all the time, and it just grossed me out because it was like 3 times a day you're cooking, 3 times a day you're grabbing seasonings, and it's just disgusting. So I have been using my labeler that currently has seasoning all over it because of what I'm doing right now. But I've been labeling these jars, and look how cute they are looking. This is chili flakes, tahini spice, we've got cinnamon and tuca. And I really love the black sticker with white text. And yeah, so our drawer is having a full-blown transformation. That drawer will open up to probably put cutting boards in that drawer now, because we have this floating shelf that Alex put in when we first moved in above the oven. And that is where I'm going to put all of these seasonings, because that's just easy access when you are cooking. All the seasonings will be lined up there. We have a second floating shelf that we never put up that I might ask Alex if he'll put it right underneath the current floating shelf. I don't know if it would, I think it would fit in that space pretty well, because we might need 2 shelves eventually. But for now, I think that these will all fit on the one shelf that we have. And then I got these little bit bigger ones here because Alex got a bunch of new seasonings. There's like a lot of this, so I'm gonna put that in there because of his Jerusalem cookbook that he's been using. So he has just like a bunch more seasonings. So I felt like this was the time to jump in to reorganizing the seasonings, because we just have so many at this point and they just weren't fitting in that drawer anymore. And I knew that they would fit on top of the oven on the floating shelf, but I was like, I don't want them on display and them all be like different seasonings with labels on them all across. So this is really nice and an aesthetically pleasing way to keep the seasonings. It feels like everything has been happening today, which is, it actually works, because today's the day that I just started. Am I okay? Today is the day that I decided to vlog, and it feels like everything is kind of happening today. The plumber is here. We just got a UV filter installed on our water collectors. So we're completely on rainwater here in the countryside, and it's been, yeah, cool to just be completely on rainwater here, because it does rain quite a bit here in New Zealand. We haven't had a problem with running out of water or anything yet. We're in the summer here right now, so this is like the true test. And he checked our water tanks and he was like, you've got water, you guys are good. So it's actually supposed to rain a lot next week, which is good, so we'll get more water. But today he put in a UV filter because there's some sort of a filter in there right now, but it's old. And so we kind of just wanted to make sure that we were getting some beautiful water coming in. It feels really good in this new year to start tackling some more projects that we want to be working on in the house, because obviously there's just so much more to do. We didn't finish everything last year, but we got a lot done. When I look back, I'm like, hey, we did a lot around here. But today we are also putting up the curtains. Alex is halfway through finishing the curtains in our bedroom. We actually started on them last night. Alex put them up and then we looked at them and realized that they were a little too high. So the bottom of the curtain was like this far off the ground and it just kind of looked like, you know, somebody was wearing like pants that are too short for them. So we just wanted them to like brush the floor, like kind of sit on the floor. That's personally how I like them to look. And I actually really like when curtain rods are all the way up to the ceiling. So we did kind of try to put the curtains up as high as we could, and then we realized that we measured wrong in terms of how I bought really long curtains so that they would be able to like kind of go all the way down the floor, but then I realized that they're not that long enough. So anyways, we had to bring the rod back down today, which is so annoying. You never want to redo anything, and I felt really bad for Alex, but he was like, I'll just do it tomorrow. So we took it down today. He already puttied the holes, and it's lower now, and so they're just grazing the floor. So that looks really nice. I ended up getting curtains that are, I'll show you guys. Let's go into the bedroom. This curtain situation has honestly been such a process, and it's primarily because I have always been a die-hard sheer curtains kind of girl. I like linen and I like sheer. I like when the light comes in, and that's about it. I never really liked heavy curtains or anything like that. I liked a nice bold curtain rod and then super sheer curtains. And that worked when I lived in California because it never really gets that cold in California. The sun goes down even in the summertime at like a kind of decent hour, like 7:30 normally, 8:30 maybe at the latest, I think, but I'm pretty sure it's usually around 7:30. And then in the winter, it's like 4:30. But here in New Zealand, where we live, the sun doesn't go down till about 9:30 in the summertime. The sun's like properly down in the summertime at like 10 p.m. And then at 10 p.m., we live here in the countryside and we're so lucky to see beautiful moonlight and stars all around us. But in the bedroom, in the evening like that, when the stars and the moon are shining bright, they're shining bright. And so at like 1 a.m. or 2 a.m., I'll wake up and it will almost look like there's a light on inside the bedroom because of the beautiful like moonlight and stars. So also it gets cold in the winter here. So insulation is something that we had to think about too, because this is an older like farm style house. So the windows, you know, are not the like cold air can kind of come through the windows. Now we've done a really good job at making sure to correct any type of like holes anywhere over the last 3 months or so. But of course, that still exists. So we wanted to have a curtain that can, you know, block out the sun when we want to go to bed earlier in the summertime. Like one of these nights I was so tired and I was just like, it's 9 p.m. I'm going to bed. I can be quite a grandma. But I really couldn't fall asleep until the sun was down. And then there was moonlight and I was just like, okay, this is just, we need to get thicker curtains. So we didn't even have curtains. We haven't even had curtains this whole time, but I was just thinking to myself, like, if I got sheer curtains, then, you know, Alex was like, we have to have insulated curtains. And I was like, I only want sheer curtains. I don't want heavy curtains. But I went into Briscoe's recently, which is like a little homeware store here in New Zealand. And I found some curtains that I really liked that had like blackout abilities, but also insulation, and they're thick, but they also like just look luxurious, to be honest. Like they kind of remind me of like in a hotel, and that's kind of how our bedroom's starting to feel, and I'm really into it. There's more to be done in here. We need to get our nightstands. The electrician is coming on Monday, which I will tell you guys more about that later. The electrician is going to add some really cool lights in the bedroom. This is the current state of our bedroom, obviously under construction, but you can kind of like get an idea of what we're going with here. All of Alex's tools are here. This is all of the stuff that we're going to be using to build the closet over here. There's the ladder, of course, the halfway done curtains at the moment, and then a kind of made bed. We've been like, you know, using it as a storage space for these curtains right now, and I've been like rolling all over it lately. But there's our headboard from the US. I'm gonna put some art up here on the wall, like maybe like 3 or 4 like bigger pieces eventually. And then we're gonna do 2 nightstands on the sides of the bed. And then the electrician is going to be adding in some really cool, like almost like hotel like lights that are kind of floating lights for reading on both sides. And then I think we're gonna put a mirror on this wall here, and then obviously this will be the closet space. It feels really good to have the bedroom close to finished. It's so comfortable right now, having the bed in here and now the curtains and having the rug that we got underneath the bed. You can't really see it that well, but there it is. And then it goes out to there. It's really, really, really cozy. And then we're gonna go get the 2 nightstands, and then on Monday, which is Friday right now, the electrician's coming, and not only is he gonna do the lights here, but he's rewiring the entire house, and he is also putting up all the light fixtures that we bought that you guys saw in a previous vlog. We were going out and getting a bunch of light fixtures. So we have a bunch of pendant lights. Pretty much we're changing every single light in the house and updating them because they're all really, really old and grimy, and it'll be cool to update all of that. So he's rewiring the house, doing all the light fixtures, and it's nice to have the bedroom done because we're in a place where when there's renovations going on around the house, like the rewiring, like the bathroom, which is going to be starting pretty soon, probably in like the next couple of weeks we'll start, or maybe 3 weeks, we start on the bathroom. I'm not really 100% sure, but it's coming soon. And we'll just have the bedroom done, which is like a space that like we can come into and chill out in. And it's nice for the bedroom to be a space that you can kind of like escape the craziness of renovations that are happening. So we're going to be doing the tiling on the hearth of the fireplace, which I'll show you guys the tiles that we picked out for that soon. We just picked them up yesterday. And then, like I said, we're going to be doing the closet, which is a kit that we got that is just like a bunch of different bits and bobs that you kind of can create your own custom closet. So we're gonna take on that project DIY. So there are a lot of projects going on right now. So we're taking them step by step. And right now we're just gonna finish these curtains. And then we're actually heading over to, at like 2:30. I don't actually even know what time it is right now. I think it's probably, if I had to guess, it's like around like 11 or 12 right now. We have training for Lanka. We're taking him to see somebody in town that a lot of people recommended. There's just a couple of things we want to work on with him, and we've been wanting to take him into training specifically for socialization for a long time because Lanka can be strange about other dogs at times. Sometimes he's perfectly fine, and then sometimes he is just not cool and not kind to other dogs. He'll growl, and it kind of makes me nervous, of course, as it would. So we are taking him to a trainer to kind of just work on a couple of things with him at 2:30 to 3:30 p.m. And I think we might stop into town and pick up some nightstands if we can. I saw some that I like, so we'll see if they're available. But the big thing here is that we are, excuse you, you're not really supposed to be on the bed, Lonky Donkey. I'm talking about you though. So yeah, he's gonna be getting some training today, which will be good. She said to have him come hungry because she does treat training, which is really good because he actually responds really well to treats. He's a treat lover, aren't we? You even know that word, right? Treat? You want a treat? Treat? He's like, all I care about right now is where my dad is. Because Alex is walking in and out of the house. He's okay. He just finished with the plumber.
Look ahead, the sea is calm, and I know we've been through a lot, but just wait. Wait for better days to come and carry us like wind in our sails.
My next project is to tackle this. When we were unpacking our boxes, I just started putting stuff on here because it was the only place or piece of furniture that we had for storage. So there are just far too many books on here. This isn't how I want to store this. It's in like the living room, dining room space. That's my little project that I just finished. But I don't want this so full. I honestly want like only like a couple of things or so on each shelf and like more things like bowls or like a little vase. Like I don't want this to be a bookshelf here. We'll have to find a different bookshelf. I think we have one from LA that goes up on the wall. This plant, poor thing. We went to dinner at a friend's house and she gave me this as it was dying and she was like, maybe you can bring it back to life. I'm trying. I don't think it's happening. I've also forgotten about it a little bit because so much has been going on. So I'll give it some love again, but I'm not sure if I'm gonna be able to bring that baby back to life. But we've got Jenga happening here. I was just unpacking all of the boxes. We have like our little wedding photo book that my best friend maid of honor got for us. I've got just like, you know, these furniture protectors here and like new pens, and it's just kind of been my storage spot. And like 2 candles over here, like that are it's not how I want it to be. So I think today I might start pulling some of the books off and putting them in one little spot until we get a bookshelf and we find a place for all the books. But yeah, this needs to be redone. So let's work on that.
Hold on tight, I can smell the shore, it's right in front of us if we just hold on tight. This vision that I saw is getting closer every dawn. Ooh.
All right, this is the new and improved, much more minimalist and organized little shelving unit we have here. And I am very happy about it. I just vacuumed, so that's why the vacuum's all over the floor. But I really like it. It's perfect because it's right off of the dining room table, and these are pieces that I just don't have space to store them, but I love them and I love how they look. And so I can use them when guests are here, and out of sight, out of mind. I feel like when these beautiful bowls are in drawers or cabinets, I just forget that they exist. So now when they're on display, if we're having guests, I'll pull this out for a cheese board and just stuff like that. And I'll remember that I have this little guy when I'm making like guac or like making chili flakes or whatever. And they're just pretty bowls, and that's why I got them. And so it's nice to have them on display. And then down here, I just put a big old cutting board that I can't get anywhere to store. And then I got this little like basket, so those fit really nicely. And then the little Wi-Fi stuff's over there, which I can't really do much about. But overall, I love how this looks now. Also, very exciting news, we now have curtains in the bedroom. They look so good. They're just touching the floor like we wanted, and I just love how they look. Oh, by the way, guys, do you remember my last vlog when I brought you into this room with all of those boxes? It was such a disaster. Well, we are making progress, my friends. This is going to be the space that we work in, we play music in. We're kind of gonna use it as like our creative space. We're still kind of talking about how we're gonna have it set up, but the good news is we put away the majority of the items. This is just office stuff that's probably going to be in this room, and then some like music stuff in the corner here. Obviously we have no furniture to put anything away yet, so we still have to have some stuff in here, but the majority is out of this room. Progress. Hello, we just got home from Lanka's training. I didn't bring you guys along with me because I wanted to, of course, focus on his training. I need to learn, Alex needs to learn, Lanka needs to learn. We all have to be in energy together. It went really well. She said he has a lot of potential. No, but it went really well. He did so good. He's a good dog. He really is. He's an awesome little guy. He just gets nervous around other dogs sometimes. So she had 2 dogs there that he was able to socialize, and he did so well. And I was like, why aren't you acting like your usual self where I have problems with you sometimes? You're acting so good. But she also knew exactly how to handle him and showed me kind of how to be with him when he meets other dogs. I kind of, like, sometimes I pull on his lead when we're approaching another dog because he has growled, like he does this deep guttural growl. He's never like bit a dog or anything like that, but he does this deep guttural growl that scares me sometimes. So I like pull him because I don't know if he's gonna like react with the other dog. And so she kind of just showed me how to deal with that, because like me pulling him is making him nervous. And so, yeah, we worked on that. She does this like really awesome approach in terms of like how he lays, and like there's a certain way that like he's supposed to lay that like relaxes him. So she showed me how to do that. She got most of her training from this book called Dog Zen, and I guess that he's based in New Zealand. So I'm gonna get that book. Alex and I are gonna get that book to like learn more. We just love dogs in general. Alex and I are always just super interested in like different types of dogs and dogs' behavior and just like why Lanka does certain things that he does or doesn't. And so it's just fascinating to us. So we want to read the book to just like kind of find out more about dog behavior. And as dogs age, obviously like they become harder to train, but Lanka's extremely like receptive, and he works really well in environments like that because he is a working dog, so he likes being stimulated. And so training him in ways where he can be stimulated and he can kind of behave for treats, he really enjoys. So he was like, he had an awesome time and he did really well. And then we went and had a quick bite in town. We had such good dinner. We just figured let's just like eat out and call it a day because we both didn't feel like cooking or doing the dishes, and it's Friday night. I'm gonna sit here on the floor and show you guys the tiles that we are going to be using for the hearth. The hearth is a new word for me actually too. I just learned it last year, but that's like the bottom part of the fireplace that kind of protects, you know, kind of like the flooring of the fireplace that protects like the ash that comes out. I don't know what my hair is doing anymore. I've moved this clip around many times, so now there's just like a big bump. I honestly have just been throwing my hair up in clips on the daily instead of doing it. I just can't be bothered. It's getting so, I have to like, it's getting so long, you guys. It is just unbelievably long, and it just takes a lot of time to do it. So I kind of just need to think about if I feel like doing a cut at some point. I don't really feel like coloring it at all, but I should probably get a cut at some point, only because I just never even wear it down anymore because it's just unbelievably long, but maybe one day I'll feel like actually doing it again and I'll keep it long. I don't know. I don't want to decide right now. These are the tiles we are going with for the hearth. Right now, our fireplace is this bright red color. You can see the tile there. And we knew when we moved in that we wanted to change the tile as soon as possible. We never really liked the red tile. Not only because it's just too bright for our liking, but especially now that we got this yellow couch, this couch set, because the red and the yellow remind me too much of like McDonald's or something like that. Like it just, yeah, it's too intense for me in terms of color. Like I love our pop of color of yellow, and that's like the brightest I want to go. But I really love these tiles. I think they're going to really bring everything in together really nicely. I think this color really kind of brings out kind of that red tone that is in the floors, the colored matte tie. And then this gold color kind of brings in the floors and the color of the couch. So this is going to be a project that we are going to work on ourselves. We've never done tile before, but we saw that we could just get the kit for tiling. And we watched already like several videos explaining how to do it, and it doesn't look too hard. And it's a small space. I'll show you guys kind of what it'll look like when they're all lined up. The hearth is a pretty small space, so we'll just pretty much line these up. We'll have to get rid of the red underneath. We'll get rid of that, and then we'll go in and get these tiles lined up the right way. They're not lined up appropriately right now. And then we'll have to cut some tiles to make it all fit right. So then I will give you guys a full view. We're going to paint the fireplace itself a brighter, more brilliant white, pretty much the color that we've done on the trims in the house. And then we're going to repaint all around here because this obviously needs to be repainted really bad. And then we're going to paint the fireplace again with like a black metal paint. So that'll be really nice when this all just gets, we're just gonna bring it back to life. And I haven't really decided what I want to have up on the mantle yet. I've just put random things there for now, but there are some sweet little memories of our little fam. I love that photo of us. It's so fun. And then tomorrow we're going to be putting up these decor pieces that I absolutely love. They're these little basket wall pieces. There are 3 different sizes. So there's this one, there's a medium size, and then a larger one that kind of got a little messed up in transit. I'm gonna fix that with some white paint. But they go up on the wall here, all positioned like kind of diagonally. And I think that they'll look really cool in this room, especially now that this little shelving unit has kind of basket-like displays as well. I think it'll look really nice with that up on the wall. And the light in here right now, I love this time of day. Look at this dining room table. I lit the candle right when we got in. I love having the table just sort of set all the time. It just makes me feel good when it just looks ready to be sat around and enjoyed. I've just been leaving these placemats here because instead of grabbing for them every time we sit down, I just put 4 here so that it can just be like easy access and just already kind of positioned there. And I've got my little marble salt and pepper shaker here on the table, and then this little female body figure vase that I love, some hydrangeas from the garden. And I love this little tray that I've had since we lived in LA, and I really, really love it. And then these two little candles that I actually haven't lit yet, but as soon as we feel like lighting them for dinner at some point, I'll do that. And then gorgeous view outside right now. It's such a beautiful time of day.